The challenges for me in accessing touchscreen visual devices are, I think, fairly obvious. I don't have any sight at all. So if I come up to some such device, I'm unable to use it because there's no audio feedback. There's no tactile input for me to know where I am. So it really makes those devices at the moment completely inaccessible to me as a totally blind user.
When I use a touchscreen at a self-service terminal, I find it incredibly difficult due to my visual impairment. I have enough sight to see, to get around and find one of these terminals, but to actually physically use it is going to prove difficult. I can see that there's a screen, but I'm not able to see the content on the screen. Therefore, I need to ask for assistance, and that may take a little bit of time for someone to be available to help me, in which case I'd find it easier to actually go to a counter and purchase goods or tickets.
The provision of access to kiosks and terminals, and to have that in an accessible way, will benefit everyone, not just blind and partial sighted users. It can benefit those who have motor disabilities, so can't use a touchscreen. It can benefit those who have reading difficulties. It can benefit those who need an alternative language. And sometimes people will find audio information easier to take in than visual information. So in today's world of high tech and where technology infiltrates every part of our lives, including my own, there's no excuse, I don't think, to make systems accessible in a number of different ways. So I can go up to a device and plug my headphones in. I can have access to a touchscreen with audio feedback or buttons with audio feedback. There are a number of ways that devices can be made accessible. Those need to be consistent across the board in terms of having, for example, headphone sockets in the same place, tactile buttons in the same place, and so on. So you can walk up to any terminal, any kiosk around the world and be able to use it the same way as anyone who has full sight and full capabilities can.
I personally use an audible system on a smartphone, a computer and a tablet. If, for example, those things are there already and they've already been implemented in various platforms, I don't think there's any reason why they shouldn't be implemented in these systems.
You know, for me, the most frustrating thing is that this technology can be made to be accessible. It doesn't take a great deal. It just needs designers to implement it at the design stage, and then it gives us complete access to the same systems that everyone else is using. Having participated in a trial of technology to make terminals and kiosks accessible to the blind and visually impaired and to those with motor and dexterity problems, I was for the first time able to participate in electronic voting and to book tickets for a rail journey. And for me, the current technology is completely inaccessible because there's typically touchscreen with no audio or braille feedback. The technology now does exist to make this possible. It has the option with tactile buttons and audio feedback, so you know what what buttons you're pushing, what options you're selecting, and so on. The technology does exist, so there really is no excuse for companies to make their technology accessible. The technology using smart kiosk and terminal capabilities that everyone is using around the world. This will give access to many millions of people who currently can't use these systems, so please make your systems accessible.